Imagine an ancient Athenian shipyard. Before you sits the legendary ship of Theseus. For centuries, the Athenians preserved it, replacing every decaying plank, every weakened mast, and every worn rope. Eventually, not a single original piece remained, posing a problem that has puzzled philosophers for 2 millennia. If every part has been replaced, is it still the same ship? Thomas Hobbes later added a second layer to the puzzle. He asked what happens if you gathered every discarded plank and used them to rebuild the original vessel elsewhere. Which one is the real ship of Theseus? Organizations undergo this same process. They replace technology, workflows, and decision-making processes, often under the assumption that the company's identity will remain untouched despite the total removal of its original components. Executives often begin a transformation by asking, how do we become an AI company? This question misses the mark because it prioritizes the tools over the identity that makes the company function. This is the visible layer, where transformation budgets are spent, on org charts, software, and KPIs. Management theory treats organizations as machines, but they are living systems with an invisible architecture governing behavior long before software does. When leaders misidentify the source of their company's identity, they risk preserving the wrong things while dismantling the right ones. Forced upgrades fail when they ignore the living system beneath the machine. This invisible layer consists of incentives, informal power, status systems, and identity. These are the elements that truly dictate how a company makes a decision. For over a century, management has relied on 4 foundational planks: annual planning, effort-based labor, information hierarchy, and expensive human coordination. AI challenges each of these. Markets now evolve monthly rather than annually. Output scales with leverage rather than hours worked. Judgment has replaced information access as the scarce resource, and automated systems are beginning to handle the coordination once managed by humans. These shifts are not just changing workflows, they are dismantling the defining characteristics of the legacy organization. This chart compares 2 worlds, one where output is proportional to effort, and the new reality where output scales exponentially with AI leverage. Consider a senior executive who has spent 25 years mastering organizational coordination. Their expertise lies in budgeting, approvals, and cross-functional meetings. Today, a 28-year-old engineer using advanced AI can produce in one afternoon what previously required 3 departments and several weeks of meetings. For the executive, this technology represents a threat to their identity. The expertise they accumulated over decades is suddenly bypassed by a new form of leverage, provoking a defensive response that performance metrics cannot explain. Gary Hamel argues that bureaucracy behaves like a biological immune system. Its primary purpose is to preserve the existing identity of the organism. When AI appears as a foreign element, the organism instinctively attacks it. The system acts to restore familiar patterns and protect the status of its members. This attack manifests as a surge in bureaucracy, requests for more governance, demands for more committees, more compliance, more oversight. By attempting to protect its familiar structure, the corporate immune system quietly repairs its old identity, effectively suffocating the adaptability needed for survival. Survival requires a biological distinction. Just as the human body replaces nearly all its cells while maintaining its identity through continuous DNA, a company must distinguish between what is core and what is replaceable. This framework separates the two. A company's DNA consists of its purpose, values, and mission. Its aging tissue consists of reporting lines, bureaucratic processes, and old technology. Transformation programs often fail because they defend the bureaucratic tissue while abandoning the original purpose. They protect the hierarchy but change the mission statement, resulting in organizational confusion. AI-native firms like Midjourney or Perplexity are a different species. They were never built on industrial assumptions. They operate with small teams, autonomous decisions, and value measured per human rather than per department. The shift from railroads to automobiles or mainframes to personal computers shows that markets eventually reward the species with the highest productivity and autonomy. Cosmetic renovations are insufficient. Those who only modernize their technology while clinging to traditional bureaucracy are eventually overtaken by those built for the new era. The winners of the AI age will be those rare institutions capable of preserving their soul while rebuilding their ship. They understand that transformation is about knowing which elements constitute identity and which merely constitute architecture.